Barricade live, and as my camera is glitching, but I am here, and PJ Savage is with me. I just want to go over a couple of things real quick. I will be seen at Notorious February 11th, Saturday night, February 11th. Make sure you get your tickets at victoryprowrestling.com. We will have the Notorious Mimi there alongside VPW Women's Champion Valentina, New York State Champion Desmond Cole, the frat star himself, Dante Drago. Brother Greatness will be there, Eric James, the former Victory Pro Wrestling Champion. Also offering sponsorship packages. Make sure you go to victoryprowrestling.com to check those out. As far as I'm concerned, I will also be in March 11th at the Big Horror Event New York up in Queens. Make sure you go to Big Event New York where you can get your tickets to see wrestling icons such as Lana, The Acclaimed, and many more. I don't know off the top of my head who's going to be there, but Christina Ricci will be there definitely. So with the Robbie Rebel, we are going to be at Icons of Wrestling Spring Fling. Alrighty, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only PJ Savage. Oops, I lost you for a second, bud.
That's all good. Thank you for having me on, man. I appreciate the platform. Truly, it's a pleasure to be on the Barricade podcast, man. Thank you.
Hey, man, it's a pleasure to have you on, sir. Glad you can make it. I know you had some stuff going on, but
one hell of a week.
I hear you. Me too. All right, let's start off with how did you fall in love with this wonderful world that we call wrestling?
Oh, man, my grandmother, I owe it all to her. She used to watch wrestling all the time, and I used to live with her. So I was like this little kid always just running around following his grandmother. Right. And, man, I used to watch AAA and CMLL. I used to watch all those wrestling programs, man. And I was probably like 3 or 4 years old. My first wrestling event, I was 4 years old, was WrestleMania 10. And I got to watch Bret Hart be hoisted up by the whole locker room. And it was pretty much over for me there. And that was how I fell in love with the sport. My grandmother and then Bret Hart becoming champion right before me in Madison Square Garden. So I was brainwashed from a kid. So I had no choice but to love wrestling.
Awesome. That's great, man. I'm a Shawn Michaels guy, though.
That's it for this podcast, guys.
I'm just teasing you. I like the Hitman as well. I have his Funko Pop signed by him.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
It is. It's cool. I love it. All right, let's start off with now you're into wrestling. What made you decide to become a wrestler, and who has been some of your mentors? Where did you train, and all that good stuff?
Oh man. So the moment as a teenager, I was probably like 10 or 12. Probably wasn't even a teenager where I was like, you know what, this is what I want to do when I grow up. I was at the Garden when Triple H came back. He made his return at the Garden, and it was like that big explosion.
Was that when he came back from that quad tear?
Yeah, he came back looking like Hercules and beat up Kurt Angle. But I was there that night, and like I've been to wrestling shows at the Garden. It's still to this day, that is the loudest thing I've ever heard in my life for one person. Right. And that was a moment for me in my life. It really kind of like, it really got me. And it was like, this is what I want to do in my life. I want to be like that. I want to be like that guy. To have all these people here, the New York fans, everybody knows how the New York fans are, the Garden and how it could be. And to hear the ovation he got when he came out, it was like, wow, damn, like I need that in my life. And then fast forward, I was in a really rough patch in my life. I was going through a whole bunch of stuff. And I just had my firstborn son, Abel. Mm-hmm. I wanted to get into wrestling earlier, but I had my daughter at a really young age. I was 17 when I had my first daughter, and Savannah, and that kind of derailed my life. I had to like do everything and grow up fast and just become a man way too early. And I was learning on my own. I had no one really mentoring me and telling me what to do. I never had a father figure in my life.
Right.
So it was tough. So with my daughter being there and then my son being born, man, I had watched final, I think no, it was Best in the World.
Mhm.
It's crazy. We're talking about this now. It was Jay Lethal versus Jay Briscoe for the
Wow.
ROH Heavyweight Championship.
Right.
That match was so like heavy. It really like put it in my brain that I can do this. It was watching Jay Briscoe and Jay Lethal, two guys that weren't supposed to be the talk of the town.
Right.
Two guys that were not supposed to be at the top of the game, and they were at the top of the game. They were they were more talked about than anybody else on WWE, anybody else on Impact. They were
Right.
it in like 2015, 16. They were it. It was Jay Briscoe and Jay Lethal, everything leading up the best in the world. And I remember just it sucking in the wrestling community and just everybody watching it. And that was a moment for me. It was like, I need to take that step and do it and get to
Right.
that level. And fast forward a little bit longer, I'm living in Brooklyn. I lived literally 2 blocks away from the Barclays Center. And
Okay.
I was in, again, very dark place in my life. I was very depressed. I was going through a whole bunch of stuff. Mentally, I wasn't in a good place. And the one thing that kind of saved me was wrestling. It always kept bringing me back. Again, watching Ring of Honor, the Jay
Right.
Briscoe stuff, and the Jay Lethal stuff. The House of Truth was like some of my favorite memories, just bringing me out of like bad places. And that's what wrestling gives to all of us. It gives us a segue to just break out of reality and just to go into
Right.
this new world where we could just, everything doesn't exist to us. And
Right.
wrestling was doing that for me heavy. And I kept remembering I would get out of work miserable as hell, get off the train station, and Raw was there that night. SmackDown was there that night, or NXT was there. And I would just watch the fans, man. And it was like, damn, these fans are like the greatest fans in the world. There's nothing better than wrestling fans. Not at all. It's just there just isn't, man.
100% agree with you.
Yeah, there isn't. I know soccer fans go crazy, but you're nothing compared to a wrestling fan.
That's right.
When it comes to watching Royal Rumble, number 30 is Dolph Ziggler, and it ain't Daniel Bryan, and everybody just wants to throw. It's another
Uh,
level of fandom.
you
And
do when you watch wrestling, whether it be a pay per view or even a regular episodic episode of whatever Raw, SmackDown, whatever. You're nothing exists in the world except
nothing,
wrestling.
nothing exists. Nothing. This is wrestling. It's a break from reality. It's something fun, man. And so I'm there in Brooklyn. I'm watching the shows. I'm watching the fans in the arena, and I kept going to the back of the arena. And people go to the back of the arena and see if you see wrestlers, see if you see anybody.
Right. Absolutely, you're right.
That wasn't me. I was just in the back looking at the production truck and just being.
Right.
I don't want to be a fan. No disrespect to the fans,
Right.
but
You want to
like,
be in the business.
yes, I don't want to get in and go watch a Raw and then come out and it's over for me. But
Right.
then you got the guys that are inside that locker room. Yeah, tonight's done, but it continues tomorrow. I want that feeling every day. I want to be a part of that every day. I want to sit at that
Right.
table. There was a show that was really influential on me. It's on Peacock. It used to be on the network, Legends of Wrestling, the Round Table Talk. I
Oh
watched,
yeah.
yeah, I watched that so much. I probably watched each episode at least 30 times. And it was just, I wanted the feeling of being able to sit at one of those tables with a JR, with a Jerry the King Lawler, with a Bret Hart, and be accepted and tell my stories amongst them. Like,
Right.
I wanted to be one of them. So that was kind of the day where it was like, this is it for me. I need to become a professional wrestler. And I looked up schools online, and in New York City, I'm from New York.
Right.
The only schools that popped up was House of Glory and Johnny Rodz, WWE Hall of Famer, World of Unpredictable Wrestling.
Right.
And I'm a big picture guy. I'm always thinking about just the bigger picture. How can I tell my story? How can it be better than expected? And I was like, oh, yeah, I could go to House of Glory. Amazing Red's there. I love everything they're doing. The shows are amazing.
Right.
They're bringing a lot of great guys. Or do I want the start of my story to say he was trained by a WWE Hall of Famer?
Right.
That kind of stuck with me. I feel like if my documentary starts when they're telling my story and it's on the network and it starts with trained by a WWE Hall of Famer, it's gonna have a different ring to it. So I chose to go to Gleason's gym in Brooklyn, New York, and then in Gleason's there's a story history with Gleason's.
Mhm.
Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, all these guys, Deontay Wilder. So many guys have passed through those hallowed halls in Gleason's. It was like I wanted to be a part of that. And so lo and behold, I went over to Gleason's gym in Brooklyn, New York. Got trained with Johnny Rods. I called him, and in typical Johnny fashion, he was like, "Well, you got to come for an interview, pa. You got to come in. You got to sit with me. I got to see if you're the right fit, pa." And I never forget it, man. I never forget. I went there. It was about 10:30 in the morning, and it was on a Tuesday. I think it was a Tuesday. Yeah, it was a Tuesday. I got in there 10:30 in the morning. He's sitting at his table. "Oh, you sit down, pa. You sit down here."
Right.
Sat down next to him, and I stood there all day, man. All day. The gym closed at 11 o'clock at night. I walked out the building with him at 11 o'clock at night. And I never forget the feeling of sitting at that table and talking with him and listening to his stories and him trying to teach me little things here and there, even though I was still a mark and didn't know what the hell he was talking about. But it was the first feeling I ever got in the business of just being at that table and being accepted. And it was like, oh no, there's a brotherhood here, and I'm a brotherhood kind of guy. I'm gonna fit in. Like, this is it. It's gonna be my story. My story starts here, and man, I never looked back after that. I started training in I think it was 2016.
Awesome.
And I never looked back, man. I was there with Johnny for about 4 years.
Okay. And I guess he was the one who mentored you in the beginning.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Johnny has I love him. He's crazy. He has his methods, but he's very old school. So I wasn't allowed to do indies. So I was just in the school doing the school shows every 6 to 8 weeks.
Right.
Getting too many show reps and just being in his shows and training and busting my ass every single day, man. Now, we trained 4 days out the week, and then you had to be in the gym the other days. It was just tough, man. It was like through the ringer, but like sitting there listening to Johnny mentored the hell out of me. And like I said, I never had a father figure. Johnny was kind of the first father figure I ever had. He taught me how to be a man. He taught me how to take care of my son. And that's one of the things you hear a lot of guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's one of the things you hear a lot of guys say after they came out of Gleason's. Like, Johnny doesn't just teach you how to be a professional wrestler. He teaches you how to become a man. Because becoming a man is going to help you become a professional wrestler. So, Johnny, I owe a lot to Johnny. But even though he had that rule, you can't do the indies. You got to stay here. You got to stay stuck here. I was with him for 4 years. I was his heavyweight champion for 3 years. I was doing a lot down there, man. Wrestler of the year 2 years in a row.
Right.
It was a lot down there. I felt like I was putting together a great resume, but then I felt like no one was watching. I felt like no one knew what I was doing. No one knew who I was. I didn't have the eyes on me that I wanted to have eyes on me. We wasn't getting looked at by WWE. There wasn't like scouts and stuff coming to Johnny's. It just wasn't. And when the pandemic hit, it kind of hit me because it was like it was my first time in 4 to 5 years where I didn't have wrestling in my life after doing it every single day, training hard for 4 years in a row. And I started to go up to another training place in PA, the Sanctuary, training up there with John Trotsky and a couple other guys, and Cowboy Billy Walker, who's from Johnny's, and they used to run shows. And so we was like, let's go up there. Let me see what to do. And it gave me the itch, man. And a lot of people got in my head. It was like, look, man, you got to hit the indies.
You got to do what you got to do.
You're
get your name out there.
Yeah, you're way too good for people not to see you. Stop fooling around. Just get out there. Let people see what you can do. And then the rest is going to speak for itself. So I hit my first year in the indies last year. And, man, it's been nonstop. It's been like a train and just going like a bullet train, just going 200 miles per hour every single day. Like, look at today, man. I was cutting promos, filming, and now I'm like running the rush back up to make sure I can do the podcast with you. And then I got a whole bunch of shit lined up, and I love it. Awesome. I love wrestling, man. I love the business, and this is what I want to do. It's nothing else I'd rather do in my life, man. I'm sucked in.
That's awesome. Some of the guys I talk to who are wrestlers, they're the same way. They're like, I got to get my name out there, do different shows, not just stay on the island. And it's right, because you have to make those connections and meet people and let, like you said, scouts who are out there see what you're capable of.
Yeah, and then like when I was, to put things into perspective, when I was over at Johnny's, I was like I said, I was heavyweight champion for 3 years.
Whatever.
I wrestled Bobby Lashley. I wrestled guys like Ortiz. I wrestled Willie Mack. I wrestled La Parka. I wrestled Psycho Clown. I wrestled guys. Like, you see what I mean? Like, no one knew. No one knew.
No one knows.
You go to YouTube right now, type in PJ Savage versus Bobby Lashley. It's gonna pop up. He's speeding me through a Barricade. I was his last match in the scene right before he went back to WWE.
Right.
And it was
The
just
more you do them.
insane, man. Like I came out, I hit the Indies, and everybody's looking at me like I'm some green guy. And it's like, brother, I am not green. Like
Right. I've
I
been
was
doing it for a
on the
while.
rock for 4 years, man. But
That's
I
right.
was wrestling some top tier talent. Like there was I wrestled La Parca and La Parca Jr. There was a whole line of like super crazy, a whole line of Mexican legends. I was training with Scott Day, who trained so many guys in WWE right now. I trained Cesaro. I was like in the ring with all these people, and it was like no one knew, man. I tagged with Scott Day, and no one talked about it. And it was like, oh man, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go. The Bobby Lashley one was a big sticking point for me. I hit the indie scene.
Yeah,
Well, who's
that's
this guy?
huge.
It's like, bro, I wrestled Lashley, man. Like, went toe to toe with the brother, and it was great.
That's huge.
Like, I held my own. Like Bobby Lashley is one of the most amazing people I've ever met in the business. Not even just because I wrestled him, you know. Like, I was in the locker room with him, and funny story, I could tell it on here. It's hilarious. So I was nervous as all can be all day long right before the Lashley match. And it was like, oh man, how do I even approach this man and go, hey, I'm your opponent for tonight. And there was the rumblings that he was going back to WWE, so it was bigger. It was like, oh man, like I'm his last match before he hits that WWE contract again. He's never gonna be back out here. And look, he's never back out here. But so I'm out there and going through the locker room, and then here he comes. I'm like, oh man. Oh, that's like he's big. He's huge.
He's huge. Yeah, I can bet.
He's huge. He was a huge dude, man. And it was like, oh God. So I go up to him. I'm like, hey, I'm PJ Savage. I'm the guy you facing tonight. And he goes, oh, okay. He kind of brushed me off. I don't think he heard me. I think he had his headphones on and he wasn't listening. And we're sitting next to each other in the locker room. I sat next to him, and then out of nowhere, he just raised his hand. Who's Savage? Who's this guy I'm facing tonight? It was right here.
You're like me.
And man, he coached me through it and walked me through the whole thing. And one of the things that I've always been blessed with, I can always make a connection with the crowd. I don't know what it is. I just always make a connection with the crowd. I'm always there, and I have a confidence about myself that lends to that connection with the crowd. And it was awesome, man, to go face to face with him in the ring. And I kept saying it too. I kept telling everybody that was asking me about the match going forward, am I nervous? And it was like, I just need to get that face to face. If I'm in the ring with him, standing in front of him, and that face-to-face happens, I want to hear what the crowd's going to say. And the crowd started chanting, Savage is going to kill you.
Oh, really?
It was like, and he saw me smirk, and he kind of smirked a little bit. If you go back and watch it, he smirked a little bit. And after the match, everything went great. He speared me through Barricade. We go into the back, and he's like, that's the first time, his whole time on the Indies, that the face-off wasn't in his favor. And it was like, you have a good connection with the crowd. Keep going. And I was like, all right, cool, man. Like, thanks. And he talked to me, exchanged numbers, all this stuff. And he's mentored me, texted me multiple times.
That's awesome.
He's an amazing person. He's an amazing person. I learned a lot from him. And
to this day, he messages you?
Yeah, I still have his number. You're not getting it. No.
I don't have Bobby's number.
No, and then one of those moments for me, because again, I'm a big documentary guy. I study the game. I'm a student of the game. I never stop. CM Punk was somebody I'm a huge fan of. I study his stuff. I was a huge Ring of Honor fan. So a lot of the stuff for me goes back to Ring of Honor. But CM Punk, his documentary on WWE, where he was on the Indies, and he got to wrestle Eddie Guerrero when Eddie Guerrero had got released from being suspended on his contract. That was his moment of just going, can I hang? You know, can I be in there with a top tier guy and can I do this? And that was that moment for me. It was a moment, and mind you, a lot of people don't know this. I was 7 months in when I faced Bobby Lashley.
Wow.
It was 7 months in. And that was a moment for me that I was like, I can hang.
That's a huge moment.
This is what 7 months looks like.
Yeah,
I can take this to another level, man. I can take this to a higher level. I could get signed. I could push and push and push. And I know it's going to be a hard road. You hear about guys they're on the Indies for 10 years. I'm on the indie road. We all saw how long it took for AJ to get signed, how long it took for Kevin to get signed, Adam Cole, Danny Bryan, Sami Zayn. It took them almost 10 years to get signed. Right. Being on the indie scene is a very hard road. Do I wish I lived next to the Performance Center and got chances? Hell yeah. I feel like I would have knocked it out the park. I feel like if I had a chance, I would have got signed already. I feel like I haven't gotten a chance to be put in the front of the right people. But if that chance comes to me, I'm gonna knock it out the
Take
ballpark.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%.
Did you ever get a chance to meet Jay Briscoe?
No, no. I did meet Jay Lethal a couple
Okay.
months back, and I got to tell him. I got to tell Lethal. I spoke to him. I was like, "Can I talk to you for a second?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I literally went up to him and was like, "I genuinely want to thank you because if it wasn't for you, I don't think I'll be a professional wrestler. You and Briscoe, what you did at Best in the World,
Right.
it influenced me more than you will ever know." And I wish I would have got to meet Briscoe. Me and him never have crossed paths. But he's somebody that heavily influenced me. Again, just Ring of Honor background. Everyone's going to be heavily influenced by Jay Briscoe. Tag team wrestlers,
Right.
singles competitors. His singles run from 2014 to 16, I still say is unmatched and would be the best in Ring of Honor history compared to any singles run. It was amazing. It's sad what happened to him and what happened to the wrestling business by losing Jay Briscoe.
Yeah.
It's prayers go out to his family and everything that's
Absolutely.
happened with them. But um, it's like his brother Mark said on Coleman's video when they just put up. His brother is still here. He's still here. Jay's still here. Jay's still with us. He's just at a higher level of existence,
Yeah.
and we can all still make him proud. And we're gonna meet him one day. So that day I meet Jay, I'll come with some chickens and some beers, and and I'll get to tell him one day, man. So, but until that day comes, rest in peace, Jay. Thank you for everything. If it wasn't for you, Jay,
Absolutely. Rest in
I wouldn't
peace.
be here right now, man.
Yeah. Did you catch the tribute last night?
Of course, yeah. I watched the shit out that tribute with my
So
seatbelt
emotional.
all over my chest.
So much emotion at that show. What a match they had.
It was
Unbelievable.
awesome, bro. It was awesome. For me, it's always the
Unbelievable.
entrance, and then what happens once that bell rings. Those are the
Right.
moments that just hearing that song hit, reach for the sky, boy, and just
That's
Mark
right.
coming out. It's man, there's nothing like professional wrestling, man. I always say it. I'll say it now. I'll say it to the day I die, man. There's
I
nothing like
agree.
wrestling. Nothing.
It
Nothing.
brings me close to my little brother who passed away. You know, he loved professional wrestling and he watch it all the time and collected
Yep.
all the videos and all that. And it brings me close to him. You know,
There you
that's
go.
why I do this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly,
So,
man. And it's like with my grandmother too. My grandmother was my biggest influence on becoming a professional wrestler. She's not here anymore, but I have her name right on my arm, and her name's written inside my boot. Just to give some clarification on that, I write people who have passed away or people who are very close to me in my right boot. I write their names in it, and so my grandmother's name's in there. So she's with me every time I go out there at Curtain, man.
that's
So
a great tribute. That's awesome.
it's nothing like wrestling, man. There's nothing
There's
like
nothing like wrestling. We got a comment for you. Great comment from Tom Tomlinson. Guys, girls in the indie circuit work 20 times harder than what I've seen in the pros for years. Great point.
Yeah, man.
Everybody's hungry.
It's tough, man. And then the
Yeah.
lay of the indie scene is just insane, man. Like if you're not from a school, like you see, I'm from Johnny Rods. I come from Johnny Rods. I come from Gleason's gym. But Johnny's not out here in the indies. He's not. He doesn't push his school. There's no one out here. So I'm out here by myself. I brand myself.
You
My
got to
logo
promote
is
yourself.
me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's all me, but then I'm up against Monster Factory, who's pushing their guys. I'm up against Creator Pro, who's pushing their guys and getting their guys on as
AEW. Yeah.
It's
Or
tough.
WWE.
And then it looks like, and then it's like, I know my body of work can stand up next to any one of those guys. I know I can blow it out the water. You put me in front of Roman Reigns, and in my heart and in my mind, I'm going to chew him up, and this is going to be my moment. Like, that's who I am. I'm a pit bull, and I'm going to take it away from any other wrestler you put in front of me. In my mind, no one can touch me. That's me. That's my confidence. So then it's like you're going against these schools, and they're pushing these guys who's been wrestling for 6 months. They get on the dark, and I'm sitting here like, they just won't answer my email. Like they're just not even looking my way. What am I gonna do? Hey kid, we'll get to you, but we're getting the Pat Bucks guys. We're gonna get the Monster Factories guys. We're gonna get to these guys. It's like, well, okay, I'm out here on my own. So like, not only am I on the indies, but I'm out here by myself. There's no one even getting me bookings, bro. Like no one. I have to get every single one of my bookings.
Oh man,
promote myself. I edit my promos. I sometimes I shoot my promos on my phone. I have to go the extra mile. So and there's a lot of guys like me. I'm not the only one out here.
All right.
A lot of guys fighting that curve and fighting that, trying to build a name for themselves and get it out here. I remember a couple months back, man, we built up a show. I built up a show just like it came out of nowhere. Takeover versus STP, Shane Taylor Promotions.
Mhm.
And that was the group I was leading, was Takeover. And like we had a whole show built around the two groups fighting each other. And I did that 6 months into the indie scene. And it was like, I know I got something.
Right.
There's no one. I'm a guy, just to put me into perspective, I'm a guy that walks into indie locker rooms and I'm not really liked. I'm not a guy that everybody's fighting for or likes because not too many people know me. If you get to know me, you're going to know I'm a great guy. I'm a great person. I'm not underhanded. But the one thing I am is competitive and I want to be number one. I'm not liked because I'm a threat. Because I'm coming in, I'm going to work hard. I'm a bust my ass. I'm going to work harder than you so I could become the guy. I know what that means. And I want that. I want to be the guy because the guy gets the matches. I don't give a shit about a payday. I don't care about green. I want matches. I want a contract. I'll get paid when I get paid.
Right.
One day there's going to be a contract I sign and it's going to pay me for all the years on indies. Like, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm going to get one paycheck off of merch. I never forget what Kevin Owens said. Kevin Owens said this on the podcast. I think it was Jericho's podcast. And he was like, he got one paycheck when he first got signed and he first made it up to the main roster and fought Cena. He had a paycheck off his royalties that basically was more than his whole 16-year career on the indies.
Jeez.
And it's like, I'm going to get paid one day, brother. I don't care about the paydays. I want the matches. I want to be able to prove I deserve a platform. And when I get on that platform, I'm going to raise it up. Like that's who I am. That's what I am. And I should be on TV. I should be on TV. Because if I'm on TV, it's going to be a whole different world. I'm telling you, I'm going to bring that big fight feel back to professional wrestling. That whole Mike Tyson feel. Everybody wants Tyson. You want to see Tyson. I'm going to bring that back. You want to see, you buy UFC so you can see Conor McGregor. You buy boxing pay-per-views because you wanted to see Mayweather. You wanted to see Tyson. You in the 90s, we all had our mothers, and you probably spent all your hard-earned money on all those pay-per-views to watch Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That's right.
Versus The Rock or Stone Cold versus Triple H. There's no doubt about it. The Rock was great. Triple H was great. That era belonged to Stone Cold Steve Austin. Eric, because he made you pay. He made you watch. He made you get the tickets. He made you go to the events. And I want to bring that back, and I want to break every record Stone Cold ever built. I want to break them all. Like that's I'm telling you, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Listen, you got me convinced you're gonna do it. We got a comment for you. So honest, PJ, loving it. True to the bone, man.
Appreciate you, Tom. Appreciate you, brother.
Let's start off with we covered so much ground. I don't even know where to go. All right, favorite opponent so far besides Lashley.
There's a wrestler named Ahmed, Prince Ahmed. I don't know if you've seen him.
I've heard of him.
Prince Ahmed. Me and him are from Gleason's. We have a chemistry. We have one of those chemistries that if me and him ever wrestled at Mania, it would be Michaels and Brett. That chemistry's there. There's a competitive fire between me and him that we would always lift each other up to be 1 and 2.
Right.
But then when we're in the ring, who's won? And me and Ahmed always had that chemistry. There's another guy named Matthew Banks. I love being in the ring with him. He's another Chinese guy. Those two guys in particular are like my favorite opponents. I could wrestle them every single day. And not just because of Johnny guys. It's because, or maybe because it is because of Johnny guys. We train together so much that we have that fire against each other, and then we gel so well against each other. It's like there's a flow. And if I had to pick one person that's not a Johnny's guy, one of my favorite opponents had to be Chris Dickinson. Chris Dickinson was another one of those tests for me, being that he's a guy that was at the top of Beyond. He was a guy that's on Ring of Honor, Violence Unlimited. He was a guy that's on at the time I faced him, he was doing New Japan Strong. So it was another measuring stick kind of match for me. And that's another match that sticks out to me. And I loved being in the ring with him. That man's just, he flows, bro. He flows. And it was like, I love that New Japan style of wrestling too. Again, I'm a Ring of Honor guy, so I like that Ring of Honor and New Japan kind of style of wrestling where it's just fighting spirit. And
Right.
you hit me with a German, I might get up and punch you in the face. It's like it tells that story of just like nothing's gonna keep me down type thing. So,
Right.
yeah. So I those are the three guys I would name: Chris Dickinson, Matthew Banks, and Prince Ahmed.
Camera, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. I hear you
All
now.
right, my camera went out for a second. What has been your favorite type of match? Gimmick match.
Any kind of like street fight. I like no rules, man.
Right, right. So
I grew up.
you've been on some no rules matches, right?
Yeah. I've
Okay.
been in a lot of them. Some unsanctioned. I would say the unsanctioned match. That would be my bread and butter. I feel like every wrestler is gonna have his style of match. You got like Undertaker is known for like Hell in a Cell. Triple H is known, for the sledgehammer and
Right,
having those hardcore matches. Mick Foley's the hardcore king.
right,
I feel like mine's gonna be that unsanctioned match, that kind of match that Triple H and Shawn had at SummerSlam, where it's like you
cool.
come in and there's no really rules to this one, man. It's
Right.
just don't kill each other.
Don't kill each other.
Don't
Yes,
kill each
right.
other. That's the only thing I can tell you right now is just don't kill each other. There's a different level of street fight and no holds bar when it comes to an unsanctioned match. And I feel like that's where that Savage name can really live, because it's like there's nothing I can't do. You can't tell me no. And then even if you did tell me no, I'm still gonna do it. So at
Right,
least now I'm just allowed to do it. And I grew up on the Attitude Era. Like every time we saw a main event, Stone Cold, The Rock, Triple H, all the main events they always had, Undertaker, the match always bled out into the crowd. And I feel like at these indie shows, these crowds, they want that, man. They want to feel a part of these shows, even at the bigger
I agree.
on the stages. I remember I took my son, I surprised him and the kids to go to Raw for his birthday in October. Where DX was there that night, and it was like my kids just wanted somebody to come into the crowd because we was on the ground level, and it was like, oh, I hope someone comes over here, comes next to us. And that really kind of showed me, just learning from my kids, watching them, going, oh, you know what? There's something to this. There's something to this. The fans just want to be next to it. You want to be a part of it. You want to be there. You're not even gonna get mad if I get thrown into a chair and that chair hits you in your leg. You're not gonna get mad.
That's right.
You're not. You're like, oh, that was cool, man. You saw that? I almost
That's
died.
right.
Like that. People love that, man. And in my style of matches, you're always gonna get that. I'm a test account because I'm always gonna go out and play with the crowd. I'm gonna throw myself into some chairs and have some fun, man. So
What about going into the barricades and then if you're sitting in the front row, because I've been in the front row, you're like, whoa.
I love it, man. I love it.
Great.
As long as the fans don't get hurt and there's somebody there. So like I remember when Lashley speared me through the barricade. It was a packed house. We was wrestling at La Boom in Queens. This is before the pandemic, so it was packed, man. And Lashley speared me through the barricade, but right before we had a couple guys just move all the people from the barricade because he was going to spear me, so we was going to fall over. I made sure the barricade was detached. Like it was going to be crazy because if it wasn't detached, his big ass would have took me and all the barricades would have came.
All the barricades,
all the barricades would have came out. It would have been a bad situation. But as long as if you're going into a barricade and as long as it's safe, you're cognizant, especially if there's kids in the front row. Make sure you're not killing them kids. Even if there's somebody with disabilities or an elderly person. If somebody could get the hell out the way, it's on him, like it's on him. If I see you, Papa, and you're in the front row, you better get the hell out the way. I'm not telling you nothing. Just get out the way. But circumstances lend to it. But when there's no barricade and it's just free range and you can just go out there and go to the crowd, I'm gonna have fun.
Let me tell you, man, from experience, I love that interaction. I'm sitting in the front row. Any wrestler that I know comes up to me like, Papa, Tank, help me. How am I supposed to help you?
It's the best, man. I take the drinks from the fans. I'll buy you one later. No, I'm not. Like we just gotta have fun, man. That's a wrestling show for you,
I just saw two wrestlers at NYWC, and they had the audience chop them.
Oh man,
like,
yeah.
all around the ring. I'm like, what the hell?
Yep. I wrestled Monster Mac from the Hit Squad. He used to tag with Dan Maff. I wrestled him over at Titan Championship Wrestling. And there was this kid in the front row hated him. He hated Mac. So I threw Mac towards the kid, and the kid started chopping Mac. I was like, oh, this is great. This is great. Mac, just stay there and take it. But that's some of the best stuff, man. As long as you're cool, you're respectful of it.
Right.
It's awesome,
Absolutely.
man. And with wrestling, that's the best part about it is the fans are just as much a part of it as the wrestlers are. The announcer, the referee, the video guy, we're all a family. Everybody's there. We're all going to see each other. Yeah, I'll let Papa Dick manage me. Why not? Why not? He can definitely manage me. I'll have some fun with that one, man.
I could talk on the mic.
Oh, there we go. There we go. That would be the heel version of me. I'll have to. When I first hit the indie scene, no one knew I could talk, so everybody just made me the quiet heel that would stay in the background and beat people up. That's the version of me that needs a Papa Dank manager.
Hey man, we got our own. I'm gonna show you something real quick before we continue. Let me bring it up. There it is, the 23/6 Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, I need that
championship. Look at that belt.
I need it.
23 hours a day, 6 days a week.
Is it clarified what hour of the day that we're off?
No, you can take whatever hour you want.
Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. I like that.
The main day off is Sunday, though.
All right. Fine. I like that. Let's roll with it. When are we gonna put the belt on me, Dank? Come on, let's go.
Let's see. We'll come out to Long Island. You know where I'll be.
I gotta get out there.
On February 11th. You know, the champion will be there now. You could definitely take him. 100%. 100%. You're taking him down.
There we go. I like the way that sounds, baby. You see that? Confidence right there. You see that?
Oh man, that's great. Hold on. I think we had another comment here. Where do you see yourself this time next year or in 5 years?
On contract. Definitely somewhere on contract.
Right.
I'm pushing as hard as I can this year to get on a platform, whether it be MLW, Impact, AEW, WWE. Mm-hmm. I need some letters in a contract and a piece of paper. I'm gonna get into the best shape of my life. I'm already down 20 pounds from December, and it's just gonna be all gas, no breaks.
The 23/6 champ is on now. He's like, I'm taking my hour now. Look at that guy. You can take that guy. 1, 2, 3.
That means 10 o'clock. You're off, buddy. I'll find you at 10.
Serena says, watch out, Ryan. PJ's going to take it from you.
Hey, that's a nice belt. That's a nice belt. I ain't going to lie. It's a nice design. I like nice belts. Look at that. Look at that. Ryan, was Ryan a heavyweight? He didn't look like a heavyweight in that picture.
He's not a heavyweight, no. He's an opportunist.
Okay, all right.
He's the solution. He solves problems, and he solved the problem of getting that belt.
When a 6'1" man, 285 pounds walks through that door, it's a different story, man. Not much opportunity.
You spear him through the barricade, he'll be in the hospital, definitely.
There's not much opportunity. And I'm fast, too. That surprised you. I'm fast, brother.
There's my son, the former champion. He said, yikes. I got everybody talking now. Don't worry about him. He sleeps with the bowling ball. So at least I'm not retired by over a grapefruit. Whoa. That was a serious supermarket accident. That was
Oh, man. I think his camera's out again.
My camera was out again.
Okay.
Tapping it. See if
we gotta fix this camera.
Let's go into a type of how about this opponent you would like to face in the indies that you haven't faced?
Jacob Fatu.
Okay.
I want Jacob Fatu more than anything in the world. I just want him. I just want him. And this is the way I'm thinking too, man. Like, I want to come at the best. I want to just shoot straight for the top. And the top of that mountain is Roman Reigns. There's no better wrestler in the world than Roman Reigns. What kind of story would it tell, man, if I took out his whole family while I was on the Indies? Got up to
that bloodline.
I'm telling you, man, and just got up to that level and stood face to face with him, and it would be a great story to tell. But not only that, man, a lot of people have wanted me versus Fatu. We have a very similar style. I mean, he's more high flyer, more punch you in the mouth. But me and Fatu, there'll be a whole. They would need to reinforce the building for me and Fatu. Me and Jacob Fatu, the Small Werewolf versus the Savage would be one hell of a fight. It'd be something to tear down the house, man. And I hope that fight comes this year, man. And I'm not gonna stop calling you out, Jacob Fatu, you big bitch. I'm not gonna stop calling you out. I'm telling you, somebody's gonna find a bag. We got a bag of money over here. We're gonna find a bag. We're gonna send it your way, and I'm gonna beat your ass. You're gonna get your paycheck, but I'm gonna beat your ass, Jacob.
Someone book that match.
So please, let's do it. Let's just hurry up, get this through with. It's gonna be insane. You're gonna sell it out, and it's gonna be match of the year, guaranteed.
Tom says, "Great interview, guys. Thank you." No, thank you for coming on and listening to us banter back and forth. All right, let's try a type of gimmick match you want to be in that you haven't been.
Oh man, there's two that come to mind right away. I still haven't had a cage match. I'm dying to just have a cage match, just to feel locked in. It's something primal about that, and just I want to get that done. I want to be in there just to see what kind of beast comes out of me,
especially in the indies.
Yeah, man, like just oh man, just to let it go and just to go all in. I'm dying for a cage match, and a thumbtack match. There's just something about thumbtacks. It's a beautiful sight. It paints one hell of a bloody poetic picture. But there's something with it with the fans that it connects.
Ouch.
Yeah, you see, you're feeling it.
You'll be plucking them out at the end of the night.
Man, you see, so one of the unsanctioned matches I had back last February, we had thumbtacks in the match, but I didn't get thrown on to the thumbtacks. And it was like a part of me that just wanted to throw myself on them.
Right.
But I'm not a deathmatch guy, though.
Who went into the thumbtacks?
A couple people got thrown into thumbtacks. Oh, really? It just wasn't me.
It just wasn't you. That's right.
I'm too big to throw my ass into them shit. You need a Jacob Fatu to throw me into some thumbtacks.
Poor guys.
But there's something about it, man. Maybe I'll have that cage match. I'll pull out that bag, that little velvet bag with some thumbtacks in it. And man, to get that point across, man. So it's thumbtacks. There's something sexy about some thumbtacks.
You know, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I mean, they just did a thing with the ladies at AEW with the thumbtacks.
Yeah. Yes.
I just flashed to that episode. I'm like, oh shit.
Yep.
Here we go.
Here it comes again. Definitely, man. Definitely.
All right, let's talk about hobbies right now. Let's jump out of wrestling for a moment. What are some of the hobbies you like?
For me, I've always been a huge gamer. Always. I think you can see one of my Nintendo Switch right now.
I see it.
There's an Xbox there. There's a whole bunch of little things. This is like my little office here. I'm
gonna throw up this real quick. It's a video game version of me. Look at that.
Oh, why does he look like John Cena Senior? Like,
well, I am 50, so it could be John Cena.
Oh man, it looks like Jean-Claude Van Cena.
Yeah, the 23-6 champ designed that for me.
Oh man, yeah, no, I'm a gamer right now, man. So before wrestling was my hobby. It was like looking at wrestling, watching wrestling. Right. I will hardly play games. I play Madden and stuff like that, the mainstream games. But when I started wrestling, you kind of need. So I got some advice from Finn Balor, Prince Devitt at the time.
Oh.
Or you need that.
You cross some paths with some very popular guys there,
and no one knows. No one pays attention to it. One day the documentary is going to be told, and you're going to be like, "Holy shit!"
You're gonna walk into WWE, and they're going to be like, "Oh, hey, what's up?"
Yeah. It's like, "Oh, you're that guy. I remember you."
That's right.
Well, time took long enough, but it's gonna. Yeah. So, meeting when he told me about he plays with Legos. Right. Sorry, David. I think you said this in the documentary notes. He plays with Legos. He does his thing, but he says he needed that hobby to break away from the wrestling. And you need that. Because, like, if you're someone like me who takes this very seriously, and if anybody's watching this right now and you're a wrestler and you're taking this very serious, not just a passion, it's like, this is it for you. This is your destiny. This is your end-all, be-all. This is my end-all, be-all. I don't have a plan B. I don't have a plan C. I don't have plan D. I don't believe in those. All I have is playing wrestling. Like, that is it for me. So when you're in it, you're in deep, man. And you could go months without picking your head up out that hole. So for me, it was draining. The knowledge that was passed down was like, take an hour out the day and just play a video game or do something, like whether it's reading books or drawing or watching your shows, or if you're in Netflix, and do something that you could have it become a little bit of a passion for you. So for me, it's like video games, man. And Like, I would say for the past 6 years, it's been really crazy. Like, I'll take my 2 hours, and for those 2 hours, do not bother me. Leave me alone. I'm
Right.
playing Xbox. I'm playing PlayStation. I have every system imaginable. The Steam Deck, which is this, like, new handheld. I'm like putting so many hours into that when I'm not training, and it's like video games. Has been my like breakaway from everything. It's fucking saving me mentally. And then my kids, man, my kids they're not just like a hobby, of course not, but
Right.
like playing with my kids and spending time with my kids, man. I'm a family man. I'm a father. I'm a father of four. I love my kids, man. I just cut a promo, and so I have a match with facing Chavo Guerrero
Mhm.
in March
Oh.
in Richmond, New Jersey, and in the promo I say something about him being from a legendary family and coming from that royal family lineage, and there's
Right.
not too many out there. But then I name off my kids and I say this is the next royal family you're going to be talking about from in
Right.
20 years, the Savages. And that's my family, man. My kids, my daughter, she turns 14 this year. My oldest, she's 2 years from starting to train. She's itching to get into training,
Oh.
and she's
So she
almost as
has that
tall.
passion you have.
Yeah, and she's almost as tall as me. She's not
Really?
even 14 yet, which is scary.
Wow.
Um, she's probably about Charlotte Flair's height, and
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So she's gonna
The
be a
Savage
monster.
family.
Yeah, she's gonna be a monster in the game, man. And then
That's it.
my oldest son, Abel, he's kind of not too much into it, but I feel like he's gonna be the one that really dives into it when he
Right.
gets older. And then my son Lucas is like, you can't tell him he's not gonna be a wrestler. His videos on my Instagram page of him walking out, he does like DX's entrance. He runs out the hallway.
Oh,
Suck
nice.
it. I'm so proud. So proud to see my
Yeah,
kid say
I,
suck it.
I feel the same way with my son. It's the same thing with him. He's like, I don't have a plan B. I want to be a wrestler.
Yeah, man.
And
And
he
then
hurt his knee, and he was like this close to going into like he was going to go to Creative Pro. He was like this close, and he hurt his knee, and he's been dealing with that for the last 5 months,
you get there.
and
Take your time. How old is he?
he's 20.
Oh, take your time, bro. Take your time.
Yeah. Oh, he's ready to jump in now because
Take your time. Take your time. A lot of people. So, just advice to your son. That's the biggest piece of advice I ever got was, don't rush it. Age is just a number. I know we want to have that sexy look of being the youngest
Right.
or having to get signed by a young age.
I think it was the frustration of the injury.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. That's
and
definitely
you
it.
know, when you're injured, you get depressed because you can't do what you want to do.
Oh hell yeah, man!
So
Oh
he was
man,
battling that for a little bit. Now he's feeling better and he's getting out of that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, it'll learn. Just take your time, man. Just take your time. Take your time. The way I was told, if you're 20, if you're 20 years old or in your early 20s, stay on the indies until you're 25, 26, 27. If you get a chance sooner than that,
Hmm.
more than fine. But spend your 5 years in the indies and learn as much as you can, the good and the bad. There's a lot of bad out here, and you'll get there. You'll get there. It's gonna help you get there even farther. It's like I got my 9-year-old daughter Sophia who's dying to train. She's mad that Savannah's so close to. She's like 14, about to turn 16, so she's
Right.
gonna train before her. And it's like, don't worry about that, man. When you turn 16, Dad's gonna take it slow. You're gonna train for like 2-3 years, and then you're gonna start getting a little matches, and then you're gonna stay on the indies for a long time.
Right.
Daddy's gonna take his time with you, and it's just take your time. Take your time. Don't rush it. It's gonna come.
Okay. Tom has a question. In all these years you have been wrestling, what is the one match and with which opponent would you want?
Oh man. Oh, one match. Are we talking everyone or just on the indies?
I think he's talking to everyone.
Everyone?
I mean, you already fought Lashley, so
If we're talking indies, I already said it's Jacob Fatu, even though he's on the MLW contract. But
Right.
he's still out here in the indies. If we're talking everyone, and it's Roman. I want Roman. He's been at the top of the game for so long. I want Roman in the last man standing match. Just who's gonna have the most dog in them? Who's gonna have the fight? Who's gonna get up? No hokey shit. No throwing a dumpster on me and now I can't get up. No, we're gonna beat each other down, beat each other's asses to the last man gets. I want to prove, like Ric Flair said, man, to be the man, you got to beat the man.
Beat the man. That's right.
There's two guys. There's two guys for me that just epitomize the top of this business right now, and one is Roman. He's nothing. You can't deny it. And Kenny Omega. For me, Kenny Omega is one of those guys. He would probably be my true dream opponent, just off the bat. That I feel like I'm going his route,
Mhm.
which is the non WWE route. I'm not a WWE guy. I'm gonna be looked at as an indie guy. I'm gonna have that indie fan base behind me. So I'm gonna be looked at as an indie guy coming in. So I feel like I'm gonna have the Kenny Omega route. But the one thing that I really truly appreciate about Kenny Omega, and AJ came close to doing it, but he was looked at as the best wrestler in the world without the machine. And I never
Right.
seen it happen before. He was looked at as the number one guy in the world, number one wrestler in the world, number one entertainer in the world, and he didn't have the machine. He was wrestling in Japan
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
tearing it down with
Tearing
Okada.
it up.
We all knew why Okada was going over. We all knew, but we knew Kenny was the man,
Right.
and we knew what Kenny brought to the brand. And the day I get to face Kenny Omega, I'm gonna bring the cleaner back out. I'm gonna bring that Okada Kenny back. We haven't seen it. I don't give a shit what he says. I'll tell him to his face right now. I'm gonna be that guy that brings it back out of him because I want to beat the best. I'm gonna bring the best version of Omega there has ever been.
That's
And
awesome.
I'm gonna stand in that ring with him, whether it takes 60 minutes, it takes 40 minutes. I'm gonna prove to the world that I'm from that cloth, that I can go, that I could be his Okada, and I'm gonna stand in there. You're damn right, it would be insane.
It would be insane.
It
That's
would
right,
be
Tom.
epic. It would be epic, man. It would be epic.
You think you can do like an Iron Man?
Yeah, 100%. I think I'm Iron Man cut, man. My favorite wrestler, of all time is Bret Hart. I'm cut from that Bret Hart cloth. I know you're a Sean guy, as
I'm a
much as that
Shaw guy.
pains me to say. As much as that. All right, so funny story about me when I was younger.
Uh-huh.
All my family used to get together and watch the pay-per-views. And so
Mhm.
WrestleMania was Sean versus Bret. And as a kid, as an adult, you kind of know what's going on, Sean. When you're smart enough, you know this is going Sean's way. The build-up was too strong. I should have knew when it came down on that wire. I should have known right there. But there was a part of me just being a kid, just still thinking it was real. I wanted my childhood hero, Bret, to win. And oh man, just watching Sean win the belt, Bret walk away and smack away the camera, that still hurts me to this day, man. I still hold that pain. But the day I have that Iron Man match, I'm gonna redeem Bret Hart, man. I'm gonna win that match for him.
Awesome.
So I'm waiting for that Iron Man match. I definitely can go that Iron Man way.
That good, Tom? Tom, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret with Tom. Tom actually had dinner with Bret the Hitman Hart.
Oh, that's awesome! That's awesome. That is
sorry,
awesome.
Tom. I had to spill the beans.
Oh, you lucky bastard.
There he goes. Hold on. Yes.
Bret's legit my childhood hero, man. He's what Cena is now to kids. That's what Bret was for me back then, man. I used to love Bret.
Like Sean to me. And Triple H, because after Sean left, huge Triple H guy. Huge.
I was too.
Before he hit the Garden, he was doing an event at the restaurant when the restaurant was up, and I was in line waiting to see him, and I got to meet him.
Oh,
that was such a.
So I went to one time.
Huge.
There's no pictures of it. My uncle dragged me to a place called Sam Goody's. It was somewhere in New York a long time ago.
Sam Goody's,
it was long.
It was a long time ago.
And it was him in China. Yeah, I got to meet him in China doing the signing.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. It was awesome people, but it was like you're there for like 5 seconds in front of him. It feels like 2 seconds. And shake his hand and move on. And then I saw him at the car.
Yeah.
I feel like Triple H influences me more as a wrestler. I feel like studying the game and watching it, I study way more Triple H than I study anything else. Him versus The Rock is like stuff that I would point any new beginner to and be like, watch them for the basics. Like study them, watch that match 30 times and just look at the basics that they do. Him versus Rock, they put on basic clinics. Just what a main event match should look like, what a regular TV match should look like. You go on 8 minutes, this is what it should look like and still get over. And so from a study standpoint and from a wrestler standpoint, just being a man, like Triple H is more of the influence of me now. I still kind of do my little homage to him when I get onto the top front of the ring and do my little pose and yell savage. I just don't spit water out.
That's awesome.
Now it'd be gimmick infringement, but Triple H is a huge influence on me. I love Triple H.
Awesome. Let's jump out of wrestling for a moment because I'm curious. What is your favorite type of food you like to eat?
Type of food, man. I'm from New York, so it's just pizza.
Pizza. Okay.
Like I could go for some New York slices, man. Like it has to be New York slices. Though. I can't go to Jersey, eat no Jersey. I'm not eating that. I'm eating New York style pizza.
It's just different.
It just hit different. It's like like pizza good, but there's something about that
New York pizza.
It just tastes different. It's just a little different. I love me a slice, man, and a bacon, egg, and cheese. I could go for bacon, egg, and cheese any day of the week. It could be breakfast, lunch, dinner.
So good.
Just give me bacon, egg, and cheese on an everything bagel, salt, pepper. I'm good, man. Like that, I'm set for life. That could be my final meal. I'm happy. I'm a big steak guy too. Steak, like if I'm eating dinner, I'm going out with the family. I'm a savage, like give me a nice cut of red meat. I'm good to go. I love me some steak.
Let's talk about steak is pretty good.
Steak is pretty good.
You got me thinking, man. I want some steak now.
Steak is pretty. Steak can get the mouth watery. Just thinking about it. Steak just hit different, man.
All right, let's jump into. I don't know if you've been involved in this, but in wrestling, there's this thing called ribbing.
Yeah.
Now, tell me about a time someone ribbed you, and tell me about a time you ribbed someone else.
Oh man, I got ribbed a lot. One time, somebody took my boots and tied them together.
Oh man.
Yeah. One time
I've heard some great stories, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, one time I was training at Johnny's, and it was just I was tired. I was dead tired. I think it was Ahmed. I think it was Prince Ahmed. And my feet was on the ropes. Like, I can't explain it, but one leg was over this rope, and this leg was here. So if you tied my boot here, I couldn't get up because the rope was there. I would have to physically tie it. This man tied my boots into a knot that I could not come out of. I had to cut.
No.
I was stuck there for a little while, and Johnny was yelling at me. That was definitely one rib I won't forget. It was pretty funny at the time. I was pretty pissed off.
Right.
That's how you know it's a good one.
Right.
I was more mad that I cut my boots. But that was a pretty good one. I've got my stuff hidden from me. I've had one of the famous ribs I'd never forget. Johnny always telling me that he used to go through was Fuji. Fuji used to take guys' bags and throw them up on the pipes in the arenas. And guys would go crazy at the end of the night looking for their stuff, and then finally they would see it on a pipe.
Right.
Random hallway up on a ceiling and 12 feet ceilings, having to get a ladder, and Fuji would just be there all night laughing at them. Yeah, so that's probably what I'm gonna do to some of the guys when I get up there. So.
That's great.
And one of the funniest ribs I did it on Ahmed. We were coming from this really long drive. We was in Pennsylvania, and he wanted to go into the gas station. All right, cool. So took his bag out the car, put it in front of the gas station, and drove off. for a little bit of a long time.
Right.
And
get back at him.
Was not answering his phone call. Was just watching a man panic in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania with no lights, just this gas station that just closed.
Oh man.
So it was pretty good. Then we got him, and he was pretty pissed off in the car. So that's how you know it's good.
You know it's a good one. That's right, because he's pissed.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Now he probably looks back and laughs.
Oh, if he sees this shit, he's gonna be so mad. He's gonna remember that I did that shit to him.
PJ, it's been great having you on the show. I've laughed so much tonight.
That's awesome, man. I love to be on anytime. Whenever you want me on, man, you just let me know.
Hey, man. We'll come back, man. Once you got some big stuff happening, you got other matches you want to talk about, just hit me up and we'll get you back on.
Hell yeah. That Fatu match happens, I'm definitely calling you. We're gonna come on.
Definitely. And if you're in New York or anywhere around me, let me know so I can go get my ticket and go.
I got you. Hey, I'm in New York. I'm in the Bronx on March 3rd.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, the Bronx, March 3rd, the Bronx Brewery in the Bronx, New York. Go check that out, man. Invictus Pro Wrestling.
Invictus. Oh, I've heard of Invictus. Ryan Peterson's the announcer, right?
Yes. Come
I know Ryan.
Invictus is it embodies New York. Invictus is one hell of a promotion. Go check it out.
Who else is on the card with you? I might know some of the guys there.
I don't know. The matches haven't gotten. Only one match has gotten announced, which is Fight or Die, Chris Barton and Dominic De Niro
I know Dominic.
versus Kingsglaive, Max Hero, and I forgot the other guy's name. But I know Ken Broadway is the champion. He's the grand champion over there. Ben Bishop's the social media champion. Big Ben. You got Big Game Leroy. Big Game Leroy's over there. Vicious Vicky's over there. Gabriel Sky is Invictus.
Oh, Gabe.
Yeah, Gabe's Invictus. He's pretty heavily into the Invictus storyline. Darius Carter is at Invictus. There's a lot of big names over at Invictus. I'm kind of proud to be over there. It's to me, it's one of the best promotions out here. It's not connected to like schools or anything. It's kind of on their own. And they put on one hell of a show, man. And they got me. And I'm the Client for Clout briefcase holder, which is basically like their money in the bank. And I get to get a chance at the title whenever I want. And March 3rd, it's looking like a good date. I'm just saying.
Awesome. Any other events you want to plug real quick?
February 18th. IWA Intense Wrestling Alliance at the Nut House. It's already sold out, but go check it out, man. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have tickets at the door. Go check that show out if you can, man. The Nut House they call it the Nut House for a reason. It's really, really dope, man. Go check out IWA. Go check out IWA on YouTube, Intense Wrestling Alliance. The Intensity Show. I had a couple banger matches over there versus Joe Cruel. Versus so many guys there, man. And just go check those matches out. And Titan Championship Wrestling. Check out Titan Championship Wrestling. If you haven't checked it out now, check it out, please. They're doing so many cool things there, and I'm heading up their third brand, which I'm kind of like their Triple H running NXT, running their new brand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, called Chosen Pro Wrestling. And the whole idea behind Chosen Pro Wrestling is for guys coming out of schools, guys coming out of Gleason's gym, just like me, that you don't have nowhere to go. It's hard to get on the platforms. It was hard for me to get on Invictus. It was hard for me to get on XWA and all these bigger promotions that I did. It's hard. You just have nothing. You emailing, you're doing this. You don't even know who to talk to when you first hit the indie scene. If you're fresh on the indie scene or you're moved up from Florida and you live in New York now, you live in New Jersey now, hit me up and I'm going to put you on the Chosen Pro Wrestling immediately. You're automatically going to get on the Chosen Pro Wrestling if you're trying to make a name for yourself. And it's a place where all the other promotions like Invictus, like a Titan, like IWA, like all these other promotions, especially Titan, because it's Titan's third brand. If you're killing it on Chosen, you're going to get on to Titan. And you're going to be able to face guys like Anthony Gangone, like Monster Mac.
I know Anthony. I just had him on.
You're gonna face a whole bunch of those guys, man. You're gonna face Ray Kalitris, the Rick Recons. That locker room is pretty stacked, man. That Titan locker room is pretty crazy, but it's hard to get on the Titan. Titan's a promotion where it's not really an entry-level promotion. It's not a promotion where you could just walk in and you're fresh and you're green and they're going to give you a shot. There's too many guys there that have tenure and they're trying to get contracts or trying to get on the GCW or bigger companies, myself included. So it's very hard to get on the Titan and make yourself a name. So Chosen is going to be that place for newcomers to come into and kill it. And kill it. Have a banger of a match and promote and do everything you can. Show that you are a brand. I created a logo. I created a YouTube show. I created so much that's just me and I'm a brand and this is what I can present to promoters. Guys need to be able to show that they can bring that to the table. And I don't feel like there's any promotions out here that are letting guys do that. So I want to give that platform that's not biased by school, that's not biased by who they're booking, the color of your skin, or whatever the case may be. All you got to do is, hey, PJ, hit me up on Facebook, whatever the case may be, Instagram, hit me up. Hey, PJ, can I get booked? Yes. These are the dates. Come by. Let's work. I'll see what you got. And that's it.
Awesome. Talk about your YouTube channel real quick so you can plug that.
Yeah. Go check out my YouTube channel. I post matches all the time. I post my promos all the time, even though my promos get more views on Instagram and Twitter. But go check them out. My YouTube show, Savage Season, it's bi-weekly right now. It's going to end up going every week. I had to take this week off because of just my kids being sick. But Savage Season is really cool. You get to follow my journey on indies, the people that I meet, the people that I come across, friends, family, supporters, wrestlers. You get behind the scenes look into my matches. You get to see some of the matches. You get to see clips. You get to see relationships that are built, and you get to see the ribbing. The ribbings on the Savage Season. So go check that out, man. The first First episode for season 2 is already up. Go check that out, man. It's amazing. It's awesome.
I'm gonna try to look you up real quick.
Yeah,
Savage season.
PJ Savage on YouTube. But the YouTube show is called Savage Season, so you can check it by that. There's a couple of old episodes. I think there was about 10 or 12 episodes in the first season. And then I took about a 3-month break, and now I'm back at it hard. The red logo means season 2.
I see you.
Yeah, go check that out, man.
I just subscribed right there.
Oh, there we go. I got another.
There we go.
People. There we go.
That's right.
There we go. Yeah, go check out my YouTube channel, man. There's so much stuff on
I will, man.
Content.
I definitely will.
There's so much stuff on there. And I
will.
try not to go over the 30-minute mark because that's when people get bored. So all my videos, especially Savage Season, it's like 15 to 25 minutes. It hangs out in that area. And it's just, what are these indie guys doing now? That's what that is, man.
That's awesome. Where can everybody follow you as well?
PJ Savage _ on all major social media platforms. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Oh God, yes, I'm starting a TikTok. I'm launching that soon. I keep refusing.
I love TikTok.
To do it. Refusing to do it. I'm like that old man that doesn't want to do it, but I have to do it, especially with Savage Season picking up some steam.
Have to, yeah.
So I'm gonna launch the TikTok. Instagram, Twitter. Awesome. If you want to see where I'm wrestling, check out my Instagram. That's more of where like you're gonna see my dates and things like that. You're gonna see my shows, promos, and hypes and teasers. All that stuff is always gonna be on Instagram. And the mic,
check it out.
We gotta fix his mic, people.
It's my camera. It's not my mic.
Fix his camera.
I gotta buy a new camera. As far as I'm concerned, I might be back Sunday. I'm not sure, but I will definitely be back Monday with Zach Ramsey's. He's gonna be talking about his YouTube series, the Miasma. I hope I'm saying this right. The Miasma. Hope I said it right.
See, is that Italian for something?
I don't know. I'm gonna find out on Monday at 7:00. I'll ask him. What does that mean? Yeah. So I'll be back with Zach, and it's gonna be a double header Monday because I'm gonna have Lara Frazier.
Awesome.
Coming on the podcast at 8:30. So excited. We got other stuff lined up with. Coming up in March, as well as Icons of Wrestling in Philly. My first time in Philly. I love that I'm going to Philly. I want to go. I want to go to Philly. I'm so excited. You also may want to check out The Bout of Gia and Frankie, A Journey of Hope and Destruction, a wrestling documentary featuring wrestler Gia Savitz, available on Venmo on demand, either for rent or purchase. Please support independent wrestling. The heartbeat of wrestling is independent wrestling, in my opinion.
Yeah,
right, PJ?
100%.
Also, I will be at Notorious Victory Pro Wrestling Notorious Saturday night, February 11th. Get your tickets at victoryprowrestling.com. They have sponsored packages if you want to sponsor a wrestler. Make sure you check out victoryprowrestling.com for that. And at that event, I will be there filming Vlog Interaction. What's going on with the 23-6 title?
Can the
Solution hold on to it? There goes my camera. Oh my God. Serena says, thank you, PJ, for joining us. Thank you, Serena, for booking all the guests. Thank you, Serena. As for everybody else, everybody have a great night. We'll be back Monday, definitely live with 2 episodes. And thank you, I almost said TJ because I'm thinking of TJ's on. Thank you, PJ Savage, for coming on the show. Woo! We had a great show. Everybody loved it. I'm so excited that you came on. And yes, I know, Brandon, new camera time. I get it. He's been telling me to get a new camera. Will PJ make an appearance to take it from Ryan? I don't know. Anything can happen.
I'm a phone call away, and I'm not doing anything on Saturday, so on February 11th. So hit me up.
Hey, as far as the 23-6 title, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Trust me. We've seen it all on the channel. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the podcast on YouTube. Papa Dank is the name of the channel. It's not just about Beyond the Barricade. There's other stuff going on there as well, like Vlog Interaction. Ryan's going to have to keep his head on a swivel. I agree with that, Serena. Everybody have a great night.